Sunday, one of the loudest voices in the Republican Party is Jim Jordan of Ohio. He mixed it up yesterday at a hearing of the House Oversight Committee with Postmaster General Louis DeJoy amid criticism of the leadership of the U.S. Postal Service. The hearing came the same day President Biden nominated 3 people to fill vacancies on the governing board of the Postal Service. The move could pave the way to remove DeJoy from his position. In one heated moment, Congressman Jim Jordan argued the scrutiny DeJoy is facing is politically motivated. Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly had a response to that.
What happened between August and February? What important event happened?
We had an election.
We had an election. It was all a charade. It was all part of the predicate for laying the groundwork for the mail-in balloting and all the chaos and confusion the Democrats wanted.
All the gaslighting that we just heard does not change facts. Donald J. Trump publicly said voting by mail would lead to massive fraud. It was Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, who was planting the idea, aided and abetted by disruptive changes proposed by a new Postmaster General and a compliant Board of Governors that actually eroded public confidence in the ability to vote by mail. That wasn't a Democratic narrative. That was a Republican narrative by the President of the United States and his enablers. For the record, I'm an admitted Democrat and damn proud of it. I didn't vote to overturn an election, and I will not be lectured by people who did about partisanship.
And the man you just saw there, Congressman Connolly of Virginia, joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being with us. We'll remind our viewers that Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio is one of the 147 Republicans who on January 6th voted against certifying the election results that made Joe Biden president of the United States. So just pull back a little bit for us. We see that 1-minute clip there. What was the context of that exchange between you and Congressman Jordan that led up to that moment?
Well, Congressman Jordan was doing what all too many Republicans do lately, starting with Trump, and that's gaslighting. Don't believe the facts. Don't believe what you know. Don't believe what you see. Believe what I tell you. And he was peddling that actually it was the Democrats who were trying to politicize the Postal Service to disrupt an election. Well, the opposite, of course, is true. And that's not just my opinion. Federal judges found that. And that's why they issued injunctions to prevent DeJoy, the Postmaster General, from going forward with changes that were clearly designed to disrupt and delay the mail in anticipation of massive voting by mail in November.
So Congressman DeJoy, the Postmaster General, and others have said this was part of a sort of reshaping of the Postal Service and cutting back hours and everything else that was planned and not targeted at the election itself. What's your response to that?
Well, that's not what a federal judge ruled in upholding an injunction sought by 14 states to prevent DeJoy from going forward with these changes. The changes clearly were designed to have an impact, and the timing is what tells you that. DeJoy wasn't 1 week on the job when he announced in the middle of a pandemic, the worst public health crisis in 100 years, we're going to actually institute changes that are deliberately going to slow down the delivery of mail and disrupt it in some cases. To do that in the middle of a pandemic, a few months out from a critical election, is unconscionable. He knew it, and he did it, and he did it with the blessing of a complicit and compliant Board of Governors.
Well, and also with the blessing of a complicit and compliant President of the United States in the middle of all of this debate. With this debate raging, Congressman, you remember what Donald Trump said? If we don't fund it, if I don't sign a bill to fund it, then they won't be able to vote by mail. So the gaslighting, obviously extreme on the Republican side, because, again, they're trying to make this into some crisis. It was a crisis created by Donald Trump and DeJoy, and then Donald Trump actually said out loud, if I don't fund it, they're not going to be able to vote by mail.
That's right. And we also got to remember that Donald Trump really selected DeJoy, and the Board of Governors approved him, even though he wasn't really an original candidate for consideration and had absolutely no background in postal issues. He brought no expertise to the table, but somehow we're supposed to believe that his intentions were sincere in reforming the Postal Service. There's no evidence that would lead one to believe that.
All right, Congressman Jerry Connolly, thank you very much. We really
Great
appreciate you
pleasure being
coming
with
on
you.
this morning.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.